Green. I'm the Civil Liberties Director at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. 230 of the Communications Decency Act is a federal law that essentially establishes that online platforms cannot bear any legal liability when that legal liability is based on content created by other people. So the easiest way to think about this is in terms of a social media platform where lots of people are creating content that appears on Facebook. What Section 230 says is that Facebook cannot be liable, cannot bear any legal liability when that legal liability arises because of that content. It's not just Facebook, it's any internet service. The law defines it really broadly. So that's what Section 230 says. At the same time, it also says that if you are a platform, you also are immunized. You also can't bear any legal liability because you've removed content from your site. The previous law, without Section 230, they basically would have been required to review everything before it got posted on the internet. Before, under Section 230, if something was exempt, if you didn't have immunity under the federal criminal law exemption, what you were faced with was a prosecution by the U.S. Department of Justice. Under FOSTA, for these specific violations, you're now faced with prosecution by state attorney generals and maybe even civil actions by victims of sex work or sex trafficking. From the sex work community is that since the law, one of the things the law has done has made sex work much more dangerous. One of the things the internet did was make sex work safer, and it did that by taking sex workers off the streets. They were able to advertise their services online. They were able to screen clients, which was a really important thing. They were able to maintain anonymity, and this just made their work so much safer. And what we have heard from sex work advocates and organizations and health and safety organizations is that since the passage of FOSTA and since the shutting down of a lot of these services that they use, is that it has forced sex workers back on the streets where it's far more dangerous.
People are more marginalized, and it affects more are mostly people in the street, the survival sex people. Yes, I see it affects them a lot, and there's a lot more crime I see around me that there wasn't before. Lots of people are doing a lot more stealing, but they're stealing from their own people. If they're going to steal, you might as well steal people causing you a problem. That's harsh.
This is really not a sex trafficking law. This is really an anti-sex work law, and though it's having really grave effects in that area.